Israel. Right, first and foremost, we want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashema Mashiach Malak Yahushua. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, which the world calls God, and Yahweh Shah is the name of his only begotten Son, which the world only calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, want to give a strong shalom to all the mighty men. They're going out there, they're laboring. They're presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice. They're doing all they can to wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Not only that, they're enduring the elements, the 100-degree weathers, freezing below codes, and doing everything they can to magnify the name of the Most High God. Shalom, shalom. Want to give another strong shalom to the Akwaf that's out there reverencing their husbands, being teachers of good things, and unmarried sisters as well, being tender, delicate, and on fire for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Shalom. Last but not least, want to give another strong shalom to all the mighty teenagers and children in this truth, doing all they can to make their calling and election sure in these last days. Right? Brother Tazama coming at you with another cold cut through the spirit. And the topic of this cold cut is titled, right? It's easy to say yes, but it's hard to say no. And the Lord got the spirit of discipline sent out on the earth because everybody don't have discipline, man. You living in a world where everybody is saying yes. They're saying yes to their desires. They're saying yes to the flesh. They're saying yes to things that are easy. But who's going to be the brother and who's going to be the sister to say no? Why is it so hard to say no? Just saying no. Somebody could ask you, hey, I got a phone bill for you. If you switch right over right now, you could get 100%, you could get $100 off your next phone bill. And now you're easily persuaded. Well, all you got to say is no, I'm not interested. But you know what? We living in a world where you got a lot of yes mans. You got a lot of yes women. You got a lot of people that say yes and they just go whatever that's being fed to them. But who's gonna be the brother and sister that's gonna stand up for their morals? That's gonna say no. No, you know what? I don't smoke at all. I gave that away. No, you know what? I can't hang out with you because I'm gonna be out the spirit. You know what? I can't watch this TV show because I need to read. You know what? I can't go to the gym yet. Let me get these precepts in. Who's gonna say no, man? Right? Um, a week ago, I was watching his brother. He was a Christian, right? And he got a lot of, you know what I'm saying? He got some money and he do YouTube and he was still struggling with a particular spirit. And I was wondering, I'm like, why is everybody struggling with this same spirit? And then it clicked because the reason why they struggling with that because they not saying no. They don't have the courage. They may be scared. They may not be built up. They don't have enough of the fear of the Lord. Hey, they're not praying, fasting. Hey, ultimately, they don't really want to overcome that because they keep saying yes. So we want to exhort brothers and sisters. It's okay with saying no. It's okay with having standards. It's okay with having morals. You don't have to follow what everybody else is doing. You don't want to be made and felt like, well, in order to fit in, I got to do what this person does. No, you can say no and be different. We live in a world where if you have any standards or morals, you get looked at weird, man. All right. You literally get looked at weird because you have some type of standards. So let's kick it off with the book of Romans, chapter 6. Right. And this ultimately goes back to the battle between the spirit and the flesh. And your spirit is willing. Your spirit wants to say no. Your spirit wants to have discipline. Your spirit wants to be obedient unto the Lord. But you have your flesh saying yes, and it wants to give into every single desire that it comes across. Let's go to the book of Romans, right? Let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 6, and verse number 16, right? And it reads, know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, as servants ye are to whom ye obey. So whoever you yield yourself to, you're a servant of that. If you yielding yourself unto the flesh, guess what? You're a servant unto the flesh. If you saying yes to the flesh all the time, you giving in to the desires, you don't have no discipline, guess what? You're a yes man and you're a slave unto your flesh. It says, his servants ye are to whom ye obey, whether unto sin, whether of sin unto death, or obedience unto righteousness. Or you can say no, reject the flesh, and be obedient to the Heavenly Father. Have righteousness. Be obedient and resist the pleasures of this world. You have the cares of this world that Yahweh Shah talked about. You have something called the desires of this life that's going to try to reel you in and to get you to be a yes man. We have to start encouraging brothers and sisters to say no. It's okay with saying no. All right. We don't give a damn who looks at us weird. All right. We don't give a damn at what people think. Hey, it is what it is, man. We caring about what the Lord think, right? We don't give a damn about what man is thinking. These are the same people that crucified a perfect man, which was Yahweh Shai. You think we gonna care about some people that crucified a man that was perfect? Yahweh Shai didn't do anything wrong. He just wanted to do the will of the Father. Yet they found fault in him and they crucified him. Yet the people that are more filthy and wicked, they act like they're the most innocent. So yeah, we don't give a damn what people think. But guess what? It's time to start saying no. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 19. You got to think of the last time you said no, how great you feel afterward. All right. This the book of Sirach, chapter 19 and verse number 5. Right? You got to think about those times where you say, you know what, I'm not gonna indulge in this. You know what? I'm gonna make sure I get my studies done. I know I got a lot going on. I'm gonna make sure I prioritize this. How great you felt afterward. Then think about all the times where you know you wasn't supposed to do something. You got out of the spirit. You wasn't fervent. You wasn't a man of your word. You wasn't a sister of your word. You said yes, and you felt awful. You got to imagine these things because it's going to help increase your experience in this truth. It's going to help you be more sober and more vigilant. It's going to increase your discipline. Ultimately, it's going to increase your obedience unto the Heavenly Father. Right? This is Sirach chapter 19 and verse number 5. It says, whoso taketh pleasure in wickedness shall be condemned. And it's easy to say yes. You got to watch out for the easy things in this world, man. Hey, my uncle told me, he always told me if something is too easy, it's wrong. Something is wrong with it. You don't want nothing easy. You shouldn't want nothing easy in this world, right? Anything that's easy as you get it, that's going to be as easy as it go. So taking pleasure in wickedness is easy. It's easy to stop reading. It's easy to stop praying consistently. It's easy to not go on a fast. All you got to do is just don't do it. It's easy to not show up to camp. It's easy not to prioritize the things you need to get done, right? And just live lavishly. It's easy to go to the club. It's easy to get the women, the females. It's easy to stack up your money down, work on the Shabbat so you can get more funds. But guess what? You know what it's hard to do? It's hard to say no. It's hard to say, you know what, I'm gonna keep the Shabbat. I don't care whatever paycheck my boss is offering me, I'm gonna be at camp. It's hard to say, you know what, I'm not gonna lust after the sister in my heart, right? It's easy to say, it's hard to say, you know what, I'm not gonna disrespect my husband, even though we got into this argument. I'm not gonna be jealous over this sister. All right. It's hard to do those things, but that's how you know the more harder it is, the more of a right way it is, man. This path in this world has opened up, and this road in this world, hey, it's full of people that could go down that path. But the road to the kingdom Everlasting life is a straight and narrow path that everybody can't go in through it. It's gonna be hard, but that's how you know you're doing a good deed, right? Reading on, Sirach 19:5. Whoso taketh pleasure in wickedness shall be condemned, but he that resisteth pleasures crowneth his life. So it's easy to take pleasure in wickedness, but it's hard to resist pleasures. Why is that? Why is it so hard to say no? Why is it so hard to fight the flesh? Well, in all actuality, is easy to say no. You have to train your mind though. It takes time. You have to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You have to cut certain things off. You got to cut certain people off. You got to give the things that's best for you, regardless of what your physical flesh wants. It don't matter what your flesh wants, man. You have to train your mind. You have to train your body. Let's go to the book of First Corinthians. All right. The reason why a lot of you brothers be slipping and sliding and falling because you can't say no. You don't have the guts to say no. Hey, in the ancient world, hey, our forefathers, they took pride in saying no, man. They took courage in saying no. I'm gonna do the right thing. I'm gonna do what's the best situation for me and the most I got. Now we living in the generation, you got brothers saying, yeah, 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 yeah. You know, yeah, 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 con. Brother, what do you mean, con? You gotta say la. Sometimes you gotta say la ah. Nah, I'm not dealing with that. All right, and that comes from experience, right? Let's bring this out in the book of First Corinthians, chapter 9. Right, this is First Corinthians chapter 9 and verse number 24. It says, "Know ye not that they which run in a race run, all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye might obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly. So fight I, not as one that beateth the air." Right, this is the point, verse 27. "But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection." So Paul is basically saying he trains his body like an athlete, right? That's what he's basically saying. He keeps his body and bring it into subjection. You don't want to be subject unto your body. You want your body to be subject unto you because what? Your spirit is what's in charge. Your mind is what's in charge. That's who's calling the shots. Just look at the people in the world who got their flesh calling the shots. Yeah, you look around, hey, these people, they flesh is just calling the shots. I'm hungry. Feed me. Guess what? They go get something to eat. Oh, I want to do this. I want to go out, go buy this. Guess what? They flesh go do it. So these people, they flesh is calling the shots. But the moment that you start having your spirit and your mind call the shots, that's when it's a whole different ball game. That's when you in a whole different lane. You don't do what everybody else does. So we can't afford to do what the people in the world do. We can't afford to have our households out of order, man. We can't afford to be indulging in fornication and lust. We can't afford to be indulging in slothfulness or covetousness or whatever spirit that you indulge in. Why? Because we know better. These people, they don't have no clue what's going on. Not only that, a lot of these people they don't give a damn what's going on. They don't care. But guess what? We're the children of the light. We have the knowledge. You have to do better. It says, "But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway." Yeah, you don't want to be a castaway, man. You preaching to others and yourself is a castaway. In that video that I watched through the spirit, the brother, all praise, I'm saying the brother confessed what he was dealing with. And I say, you know what? This should provoke me to say no even more. because all of these they dealing with these spirit, and everybody deals with spirits. I mean, it's just it is what it is. But it's about how you deal with the spirits. If you saying yes, that's a problem. Everybody is saying yes. You want to be different. What's gonna separate you from the rest of the bunch? Right? What's gonna separate you from the rest of the crowd? Your ability to say no. Right? Let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 7. Right? Get the book of Romans, chapter 7, and verse number 14. It says, "For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that do I not. But I hate that do I. Then if I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that is good." So Paul is talking about the law of sin and death. All right. So you want to do, your spirit wants to do right, but guess what? Your flesh wants to do the opposite. And it's hard to control and contain. Right? It says, "Now then, it is no more I that do it, but that sin that dwelleth in me." And sin is inside all of us, man. Chiefly from Adam. But guess what? That don't mean a damn thing. Just because sin is inside of you, that don't mean you have to indulge in it. That don't mean you have to say yes to it. That don't mean you have to go with the flow, be hindered and be hindered, man. It says, "Now then, it is no more I that do, but sin that dwelleth in me. For I know that in me that is in my flesh dwelleth no good thing. For to will it is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not." And that's a lot of us, man. You first come into the truth, or you want to do what's good, but you got a stumbling block that's set before you that's holding you back. You got something that's distracting you. You got a spirit that's playing on your flesh that's hindering you. It says, "I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present within me. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members." Now, the thing is, you don't want to be brought into captivity. You're going to have spiritual warfare. And your flesh is going to war against your spirit. That just is what it is. But if you train your mind and your body long enough and constantly train it, eventually your body is going to be subject into what you think is best for you overall. But it comes with time, it comes with effort, right? It comes with hard work, dedication, blood, sweat, and tears. And you have to be willing to put in the work so you can start saying no more than you do yes. If I was to ask you and do a survey right now, even if I was to do a survey in the world and ask you, do you say yes more than you do no? I guarantee you people would say yes. They say yes more than they do no. And people, they even do it subconsciously. They subconsciously say yes more than they actually say no. And that shows you that the world has no discipline. Nobody has any discipline anymore. What happened to the discipline of our forefathers, man? The discipline that David had, right? That's what stood them. That's what stood them out. The prophet, the discipline that the prophet said. All right. The lack of discipline gets you to poverty, man. Spiritual famish. Yeah, keep saying yes. Guess what's gonna happen? The Lord is gonna bring you low. Lord is gonna start taking things from you. Lord are gonna put spirits on you. The Lord may bug you out, but I guarantee you 100%, if you say no, if you start saying no more than do you do yes, your life will can change completely. And that's from experience. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till hey, start saying no right now. I guarantee you your life will change 100%. Now it might not be easy, but guess what? It's gonna be a challenge. That's what you get. I'm gonna read that again. That's what you get, the warring against the law of your mind. Right? This is Romans 7:23. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind. Why is it warring against the law of your mind? Because your mind wants to do one thing, but it's another member, which is sin, that's dwelling inside you that wants to go the other way. Hey, the strongest man, it's like tug of war. You got one person pulling this way, the other person pulling the other way. Hey, only the strongest, whoever could pull that the strongest and the fastest, hey, that person is gonna win. So, with that being said, you have to understand that when you say no, things change. Right, let's go to the book of Romans, the eighth chapter. Let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 8, and verse number 7. Right, I'm gonna actually start at 5. It says, "For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace." That's why you must be in this Bible. You must be in these scriptures daily. Hey, the Lord said you got to renew your mind, be renewed by the transforming of your mind, paraphrasing that Romans 12:2. And this stuff is required daily. Because if you miss one day, that could be the one day where you say yes and overthrow yourself. It says, verse 7, because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can. And a lot of times people think they carnal mind could get aligned with the law of the Most High. No, brother, it can never be aligned with the law of the Lord. It's not gonna work, and it never will gonna work. And sometimes you got an idea of, okay, it's not working right now, but I know it could work later. No, it would never be able to work. As long as you on this earth and in this truth, certain things is never going to work. Stop trying to put it off right now. Then yeah, I'm gonna come back to it later. Maybe it'll work out then. No, you can't serve two masters. You got to pick one or you got to pick the other. That's what it means by neither indeed can be. Meaning your carnal mind would never be subject to the law of the Lord. Whatever you desire carnally, your flesh carnally, it will never, you could get it out your head. It would never be possible as long as you in this truth. The only way it will be if you stop serving the Lord. You go back to your old ways, then you can have the things of this world. But you cannot have the desires of the world in the truth. It don't work like that. It says, verse 8, so then they that are in the flesh cannot please God. So as long as you saying yes, you can't please the Lord, man. How are you pleasing the Most High if you always say yes? You say yes to everything. Satan tempts you to say yes. Your boss tell you, hey, we need you to tuck in your fringes. It's a policy. You're gonna have brothers that's gonna say, okay, and they gonna tuck in their fringes. Right? What else? Oh yeah, hey, we need you to come in on the Shabbat. Brother say yes. Right? Your woman say, hey, don't go to camp anymore. Brother say yes. Yeah, I gotta kind of stay back with my rib. Right? She don't want me to come to camp. She want me to spend time. Well, hold on. What did the Lord say, man? Right? Yeah, I kind of broke my fast. I mean, I don't know why, but I broke my fast. Well, brother, did you broke your fast because you said yes? Satan presented that offer to you. Say, you know what? If you break your fast right now, the food would be 10 times more enjoyable. Then you end up breaking the fast. You said you was gonna pray, but you didn't pray. Or you say you might have said your study habits was gonna change, you would get more studying in. But guess what? You lied. Because you said yes to the desires of your flesh, and you wasn't man enough to say no. Read on verse 9. It says, but ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. If so be that the spirit of God dwelleth in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Christ, he is none of this. See that? Let's go to the book of Galatians, right? Chapter 5, right? Let's go to the book of Galatians, chapter 5. And this Galatians 5 and 17. I'm going to start at verse 16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the lust of the flesh, for the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. And it's a lot of things that you know you want to do. It might be some things you know you want to do for the ministry of the Lord, man. It's some things you want to do to benefit the congregation. It's some new ideas you want to come up with to turn the wickedness, our people that's in wickedness to righteousness. But it's going to be something stopping you from not doing the things that you would. And that's going to be the flesh. And it's up to you to say no, or it's up to you to give in and say yes. You have to pick your poison in this thing, right? Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 4. Let's see what Yahweh Shai did when he was on the earth. Hey, when Satan was presenting himself to Yahweh Shai and tempting, and Yahweh Shai could have easily said yes. All right. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 4, and verse number 1. Then was Yahweh Shai led up of the spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was after it and hungered. So Christ was fasting 40 days, 40 nights. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. You don't think that was easy for Yahweh Shai to do? I mean, he was hungry. He's the Son of Man. And he could have made those stones into some manna and kind of, ate it. He could have made those stones into some unleavened bread with some honey on it, right? Nice and crisp. But did he do that? No. Why? Because it was too easy, right? It's too easy to go back to the ways of the old man. It's too easy to go back to the ways of the old woman that you was. Hey, it's too easy to go back into the world, man. Again, we don't want nothing easy. It's too easy to hit up that one Eve that you used to talk to and see what she up to. All of that stuff is easy, man. It's easy to go back smoking blunts, getting tattoos, partying, club hopping. But guess what? It's hard to say no to it. It's hard to say, you know what, I'm gonna stay in this truth, right? Like brother once say, it's easy to come into this truth, but it's harder to stay in it. And you have to take the hard route. You might not want to hear it. It might have ruined your day, but guess what? We letting you have to take the hard route, right? So let's see what Yahweh Shai said, verse 4. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the God. So Yahweh Shai say, hey, no, it's written, we gotta live by, man can't live by bread alone. We gotta live by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High. Right? Jumping down to verse 8. Again, the devil taketh them up into an exceeding high mountain and shewed him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and said unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Let's see what Christ said. Then said Yahushua unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. So he said, no, get the hell away from me. If you got to talk to yourself, hey, you got to do what you got to do. If you literally have to look yourself in the mirror and say no, you got to do what you got to do. Verse 11, then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. And after Yahushua said no, he felt more powerful because what? He just endured temptation. Let's go to the book of James. Let's get that quick precept before we go to First Kings. Right? It's the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 12. It says, "Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him." All you have to do is endure and pass the test. If you fail the test, you're not going to receive the crown of life. But if you pass the test, boom, you just endure temptation. You just got stronger. You passed the test. All praise to the Most High. You should feel accomplished. All right, let's go to the book of First Kings, chapter 13. Right, it's the book of First Kings, chapter 13, and verse number 7. And the king said unto the man of God, "Come home with me and refresh thyself, and I will give thee a reward." And the man of God said unto the king, "If thou wilt give me half thy house, I would not go with thee, neither will I eat bread nor drink water in this place. For so it was charged me by the word of the Lord, saying, Eat no bread, drink no water, nor return again by the same way that thou camest." So it was charged to this man of God that he couldn't go into this man's house, eat any bread, nor drink any water on a mission. Now, if somebody tempted this man and said, "Hey, guess what? Hey, come into my house. I have food." And he said no. But guess what? It would have been easy for him to say, "You know what? Okay," and do it. But he would have had guilt. He would have had a guilty conscience. So he said no, reading on. So he went another way and returned not by the way that he came to Bethel. Now there dwelleth an old prophet in Bethel, and his sons came and told him all the works that the man of God had done that day in Bethel, the words which he had spoken unto the king. Them they told also to their father. And their father said unto him, "What way went he?" For his sons had seen what way the man of God went, which came from Judah. And he said unto his sons, "Saddle me the ass." So they saddled him the ass, and he rode thereon. And he went after the man of God and found him sitting under an oak, and said unto him, "Art thou the man of God that camest from Judah?" And he said, "I am." Then he said unto him, "Come home with me and eat bread." So now this man is being tempted again to eat bread. He said no the first time, and he's being tempted again. And that might be you. You might get tempted and you might say no, and you feel good. But then you get tempted again. Let's see what this man have did. And he said, "I may not return with thee, nor go in with thee. Neither will I eat bread nor drink water with thee in this place. For it was said to me by the word of the Lord that thou shalt eat no bread nor drink water with thee, nor return again to go by the way that thou camest." So this man said no again. It was charged from the Most High. I can't do this thing. Verse 18, he said unto him, "I am a prophet also as thou art. And an angel spake unto me by the word of the Lord, saying, Bring him back with thee into thy house, that he may eat bread and drink water." But he lied unto him. See that? So then, guess what? The tempting don't stop. You might say no twice. You might be on a streak of saying no. You might be on 100 days of saying no to your flesh. 300 days, 1,000 days. None of that matters if you say yes the one time. All of those 100 days, that goes null and void. You fail. And it shows you how much of your P's and Q's you have to be on. Or else it could get real spooky, man. All right. So this man lied and he said, "I'm a prophet just like you a prophet. Hey, an angel told me you supposed to come with me and eat bread." Verse 19. So he went back with them and did eat bread in his house and drink water. And as it came to pass, as they sat at the table, that the word of the Lord came into the prophet that brought him back and cried. And he cried unto the man of God that came from Judah, saying, Thus said the Lord, for as much as thou hast disobeyed the mouth of the Lord, and hast not kept the commandment which the Lord thy God commanded thee, but camest back and hast eaten bread and drunk water in the place of which the Lord did say to thee, Eat no bread and drink no water. Thy carcass shall not come into the sceptre of thy fathers. And it came to pass after he had eaten bread and after he had drunk, that he saddled for him the ass to wit for the prophet whom he had brought back. And when he was going, a lion met him by the way and slew him, and his carcass was cast into the way as the ass stood by it. The lion also stood by the carcass. So this man got slew. The Most High sent the lion and killed him. Why? Because he was obedient that one time. Yeah, he said no 3 other times, but guess what? That don't mean anything. The Lord told him to do something, and guess what? He didn't perform it, man. He didn't do it. It says, and behold, men passed by and saw the carcass in the way, and the lion standing by the carcass. And they came and told it in the city where the old prophet dwelt. And when the prophet that had brought him from the way heard thereof, he said, It is the man of God who was disobedient unto the word of the Lord. Therefore, the Lord had delivered him into the lion, which have torn him and slain him according to the word of the Lord, which he spake unto him. So that man was an example of basically not to be disobedient to the word of the Lord. And it shows you how much integrity you have to have. Right, let's go to the book of Job, chapter 27. Right. So we encouraging brothers and sisters to keep your integrity, hold fast to your integrity, because that's where your great strength lieth at. That's where your great strength lieth at. Right. It's the book of Job, chapter 27, and verse number 5. God forbid that I should justify you. Till I die, I would not remove my integrity from me. Whatever you do, do not remove your integrity. Hold fast to the discipline, the morals. If you gotta say no, man. If you gotta look yourself in the mirror and have that talk with yourself, hey, do that. But never remove your integrity. It's not worth it. You will lose in the end, and it's not of the will of the Father. So again, the topic of this cold cut, it's easy to say yes, but it's hard to say no. Are you gonna be a yes man, or are you gonna be a no man? The choice is yours. But with that, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach Umanak Yahushua. Lord willing, this video was edifying. Continue to read, pray, fast, and study. Most importantly, beseech the Heavenly Father for his mercy. With that, I'm going to say Shalom.